Excellent. Ok. Salve a tutti gli amici, io sono Alcanista Vanarati, il VTuber che vuole regali felici. Okay, now I'm actually surprised. This is actually one of the first times that I could do the entire intro spiel without actually tripping down my words or anything. We are evolving, we are evolving. We are getting molto bravo. No, not molto bravo, we are getting più bravo. Molto is very good, very capable essentially. Good as in capable. Well, più is more capable. Più bravo, more capable. Uh, so I'm sorry, I don't want to spend too much on a tangent on Italian when we already, we already started this thing a bit later than we should have. Let's see if, mm, yeah, okay. Hmm. Okay, finally we can squint. Wow, man, that, hmm, hmm, hmm. And my, hmm. The only thing is my mouth is still a bit. I think if I open the lips too much, let's turn on some music. Sorry, we if we smile too broadly. No, we had to just smile gently. Because if we actually widen the lips, then that's what makes it want to open. So I had to smile in a very particular kind of way. Okay. Yeah, I imagine the lighting doesn't particularly help. So. But you know, improvements. I'm at least happy that now we are mastering the model more little by little. One of the most important abilities in VTubing, of course, is to be able to properly control the the model. Oh well. So we are going farther and farther into stardom. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm so happy I can squint now. Like you guys had no idea how difficult it was to get that done. Apparently, I was getting the movement kind of wrong too. So. Oh man, yeah, improvements. An asset? I wonder if I want to add something. Yeah, as you can see, I kinda just like the cheek bandit, so I just kinda left it there. Okay, now let's start, and I want to simply check with my monitor how the music and my voice is behaving. So but one thing that I do not like is that actually the microphone seems to be picking a bit of noise. So we are actually going to increase the power of noise filter here. And maybe it's actually getting a bit more. We're going to reduce the volume. Okay, now with this voice filter it's actually working. Yeah, see? That's why it's always important to check with your own monitor, with your own audio monitor, if everything is working right. And now with that out of the way, let's get ahead and we don't really need to wait for anything more, right? Yeah, I think we're all set. Okay. 8 minutes? I really don't think anyone has been watching for 8 minutes. Was it my monitor or? Oh, sorry. I do apologize if anyone actually was watching for the start. Now I realized that was probably a bit inelegant of me to say it like that. I am sorry. I just assumed that it was like YouTube that was miscounting a viewer. But I'm sorry to make you wait. Let's start. Start live. Usually, before getting into a Read My Master video, I play a few other VTuber clips, but today we're actually going to do a double function. We're going to be a Gawr Gura video and the video about Gawr Gura and then the video about Mori Calliope. I want to finish all the
Now, over the past couple of weeks and months, there's been growing concerns about Gura's
I want to complete
the
saga of all the mid
which is depicted as a prepubescent child, and the person voicing them is number one, putting on a childish voice. This is not the voice of a woman.
And this month of November has been pretty difficult with that. It just kind of got weird.
We're going to
fan of VTubers or not,
lower the
you've
speaking
probably
volume.
seen imagery of a certain shark girl with white and blue hair going
No,
around
no,
the
no.
internet. You've
Reduce
probably
it.
walked into a store
And we are actually going to reduce the feedback here. We are going to restart the video, I am sorry.
For anime lovers, her debut in 2020.
No,
Now, over the
restart.
past couple of weeks and months, there has been growing concerns about Gura's well-being.
As you can see, this lolly,
Here.
which is depicted as a prepubescent child, and the person voicing them is number one, putting on a childish
Okay,
voice.
so
This is
now
not
I
the
can
voice
actually
of a
listen to it
woman.
well,
And this month of November has been pretty difficult with that. It just
and you guys should be able to hear me clearly over the audio, right? I think that you will be able to.
White and blue hair going around the internet. You've probably walked into a store selling some of her paraphilia, or even have seen cosplayers parading around in a large blue hoodie with shark
A bit
teeth.
stronger.
For anime lovers around the world, Gawr Gura has cemented herself as the face of VTubing since her debut.
So
in
I can
2020.
hear
But
the
being
audio
most
clearly.
popular VTuber on the planet doesn't come without its fair share of scrutiny. And while she's been adored by many for her wholesome and carefree content, she's on the other hand.
Okay,
often
this should be
been
a good
chastised by members of the
mixture of like
community in this
audio
way.
balancing.
In this video deep dive into the world of VTubers, we'll take a closer look at Gawr Gura's rise to fame and her
Essentially what she says in
impact as
that
a
part
cultural
is more or
icon.
less
We'll
that
also explore the
the
challenges she faces as she ascends to celebrity
that
status, a
Gawr Gura
status
got
that
to
is
the top of
increasingly
like
objectified
VTubing,
in
and she
our
also
modern
faces
day
a lot of
society.
things.
But I'm getting ahead of myself.
A lot of
Let's start
criticism
from the
for various
very
reasons.
beginning. Gawr Gura made her debut on September 13, 2020 as part of the Hololive English first generation myth.
I am Gawr Gura of Hololive EN.
Her debut stream was recorded to be one of the most successful in VTuber history, as she captured the heart of many with her childlike
We
innocence, heart
need
of gold,
to make
and
the
her
volume
general
a bit stronger.
foolishness and antics.
How do you spell stomach?
A stone. We can actually make the stone. Yeah.
Alright, that looks good.
A notable moment during that stream was her singing of Right on Time, an 80s Japanese song that was incredibly well received and that showcased her versatility in appealing to both English
Can I
and
actually
overseas
made it
audience.
a
And
bit
this would be a
bigger
perk that
here
would
to
greatly
make it play
contribute
on
to her
Senju Momo?
worldwide success.
Okay,
As the story
excellent. I
goes,
covered
the
part of the
stream
stream,
was
but
a
that shouldn't be
massive
too
hit,
much of a
and
problem, I
Gura
don't think.
achieved the distinction of becoming the first VTuber to reach the 1 million subscriber milestone on YouTube in less than a month after her debut. Fast forward 2 years
Wow.
later, and Gawr Gura officially hit 4 million subscribers on YouTube, the first in VTuber history, and officially dethroning Kizuna Ai as the face of VTubers.
Excellent. It's
Arigatou
not actually.
gozaimasu. 4 million! What the heck? Excuse me!
What the
just
heck?
happy to be on this journey with all of you. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
see where we go next. I will do my best.
Yeah,
In an
for sure.
article for Dexerto, the CEO, Yago, says he knew the market would be lucrative, but his expectations were blown away once Gura hit 4 million subs. As the
Yeah.
English-speaking
Okay,
world
here's
is
actually
certainly
his
very
commentary.
big, you could say we had some expectations of people watching
Yeah.
more frequently, he said. Since the name recognition of
Especially, I imagine that a lot of Japanese businessmen interpret the English-speaking market as just a general world market. Or I mean, not like completely equivalent, but they do see it as like the biggest opening of the international market. So for them, I imagine that there's often the expectation of like a really big public, but as at the same time, a public that they do not necessarily know how to cater to properly while maintaining the nature of what makes them unique.
Hololive itself had been rising around the world, we figured we should see an increase in viewership. I personally talked to all of them before their debut, but we didn't predict anything like that. Indeed, when the VTuber trend started in the Western world in 2020, Hololive was one of
And as a side note, this is probably something that will be more fitting in a video specifically discussing Tanigo no. Um, it's actually quite amazing that the CEO of the business took time out of his day to personally communicate with not only the girls from the first English generation of Hololive, but from there were actually many talents who had told personal stories of when Tanigo-san uh, demonstrated a particular preoccupation for them, una preocupación particular por ellos, por ellas, por ellas y por ellos, and that he really made them feel important and that they were considerate
one of the
by
first
him.
agencies to capitalize on it. The generation called Hololive, which includes the 5 most popular English-speaking VTubers in the world, could be considered the driving
Are Meet actually the most popular? I didn't know that. Actually, I'm actually quite surprised by that.
force behind this trend. Prior to that, the VTuber
Interesting.
Kiryu Coco was one of the first Hololive members to gain a large Western audience, but that is a large subject in itself that we will have to keep for another video. You see, before Hololive, VTubing was a small and obscure part of the internet that only appealed to hardcore anime fans. There were very few English-speaking VTubers at that time. However, everything changed after Hololive's debut.
Yeah, from what I understand, VTubing was a pretty obscure, pretty niche thing until Meet, and as Miss Rima will mention later on, all the situations are around 2020 just formed a perfect combination of factors to
which serve
make
as
the
a
boom of the
catalyst
idol
for
of the
VTuber
idol
boom.
of the
Basically,
VTuber
the world
industry.
was ripe for this invasion of anime girls,
Hmm?
and Gura's arrival proved to be perfect timing. Gawr Gura's immense success could be
Yeah.
as arrival proved to be the perfect timing. Gawr
Yeah,
Gura's
Meet was
immense
very
success
lucky.
could be attributed to her ability to bridge the degenerate shitposting VTuber fans to a more mainstream media. She's adorable and easy to
suppose so.
follow, and
Full disclosure, I know I say that I knew very little about Ina, but Gura is actually ironically the Meet member whom I know the least about. Like, I am actually fairly confident that I had never seen a clip of Gura before. So a lot of the things that she's going to say here, I won't be able to hear them with an informed perspective, because this is pretty much my first time watching Gura in any capacity. Or I mean, obviously, I had seen her in clips of other VTubers and stuff like that, but never just by
so
herself.
she's watched by all age groups in her audience. And while she doesn't often sexualize herself or her body, making her stream more on the family-friendly side, she's also not afraid to play into sexual innuendos to appeal to her older audience.
All right, should we go to the jail cells? Because I feel like that's where the fun happens, right?
Yes, ma'am. Found the shower.
Ooh.
Who's gonna make the soap joke?
God, please.
Oh, we have to give a speech. I would like to announce that the lamps on the ceiling look like boobies.
I feel like this Reddit comment characterizes how she appeals to the normie audience quite well, as this user describes his little sister,
I think she doesn't actually
who
read
is
it.
not
So.
familiar at all with VTubers, that absolutely adores Gura. The cute factor.
Okay,
normie
she doesn't read it actually. So. My little sister recently started watching Gura, and I mean like only Gura. She watches Amelia occasionally, but she pretty much tries to watch every Gura stream she can, and is in love with her karaoke stream. Yeah, Gura is an amazing singer. My little sister is pretty much a normie in every way, so it will make sense that Gura will attract a lot of people who aren't familiar with VTubers at first. As for why she likes Gura, it's because of her absolutely astounding singing ability and cute way of speaking. Gura is just generally easy to watch. You could come in at any time during a stream and still catch cute and funny moments, which are kind of the bread and butter in VTubing, to be honest, even if you had no clue who she is.
audience quite well, as this user describes his little sister.
Well, I mean, of course, in indie VTubing and in VTubing in general has become a lot broader in like what a VTuber can do, what kind of things it can appeal with. So like obviously some VTubers are like very edgy, some like do very chaotic jokes, like rambling, etc, etc. But generally the idea of a traditional VTubing, because a lot of it comes from idol VTubing, I suppose, it's
Who
still
is
like
not familiar
stuff like
at
cute
all
and
with
funny.
VTubers that absolutely adores
Sorry, I
Gura.
probably
The
shouldn't have
cute
gone into that
factor
tangent.
is definitely part of her charm, and Gura is not afraid to weaponize her own cuteness, often playing along with it.
I'm
Yeah.
cute.
In
She's
fact,
cute.
Gura often plays a kayfabe of a character who seemingly is barely capable of spelling, doing maths, or even remembering her own birthday.
Gura senpai, how old are you today?
Oh yeah, so she plays the ditzy.
9,655 hours.
9600 9600
9,600.
Wow.
Yes.
A silly but incredibly charismatic
She
persona.
plays the classic character.
Vision.
No, it's Vizon.
For those who don't know, the term kayfabe originally comes from professional wrestling, where the portrayal of stage events
For the
within
record, she
the
had to
industry were known
censor
to be
the
fake
wrestling
or
part because
staged,
she got
with which
copyright
the
claimed by
audience
the
still
by
played
the
along. The
owners of the
wrestlers
wrestling
needed to
video, the
keep
wrestling
that
agency.
persona and not break
So, yeah.
character even outside of the ring, and so this
It's-
performance
It's actually genuinely amazing how brutal, to be honest, the copyright stuff can get. Like there are actually a lot of videos where it tells me, oh hey, we detected a copyright use, and the copyright use in question is like 5-10 seconds of a song that was in the background of a video I reacted to, and like stuff that is completely like, why do you even do this? But so far it has been pretty much always like, oh hey, a copyright was detected, but the copyright owner has no problem with it, and like you can just keep it on the video. It's no problem at all. No problem at all.
was still presented
Like
as
maybe
authentic,
after when
even though it
I-
was not.
if I
Kinda
apply
how
for
VTubers
monetization,
still
it will be a
act their
problem, but-
characters outside of streams and on
So far,
platforms
it's
such
all
as
good.
Twitter. Today, the term has mostly diverged to be applied to multiple things, including VTubers. And in the context of VTuber itself, kayfabe refers to the act of maintaining the illusion that the virtual character is a real person. In other words,
Yeah, essentially a kind of prolonged acting, or like trying to constantly embody the character. It's something that I admire about Japanese VTubers a lot. I can notice, for example, how difficult keeping the accent is by virtue of that that I almost never do it. Ah, God. Let's see if is it actually squinting here? Yeah, okay. It's movement for some reason, that movement and a lot of eye movement that kinda confuses the tracking of eye-opening. I don't know why.
We know it's fake, but we're playing along, wink wink, for the sake of entertainment. Gura is known to play a kayfabe of a moe character. Moe is a term often used in anime and manga culture to describe a feeling of affection or attraction towards certain fictional characters.
I'm sorry for what I am going to do. Let's see if it comes out right. Moe. ¿Quién? Oh god. Okay, excellent. That was painful. Let's continue.
Typically young and cute ones. Moe characters are often characterized by their innocence, vulnerability, and various traits that makes them appear charming or cute. This is important to note as antis will
Actually, it's from what I understand, the definition of moe goes into a bit more depth than that. There's actually a few more things that go into it, but yeah, generally speaking, it's more or less like that. Sorry. Okay, everything seems to be in working order. But then on the most superficial level, yeah, it's something like that. I never managed to really understand or memorize much of the supposed meaning of moe. So generally I just go with, okay, it's cute. Like, it's cute and makes you want to, like, it gives you that, like, that kind of, like, warm or, like, shaking feeling inside, like, oh my god, like, it gives you cute aggression almost. Cute aggression, but instead of aggression, it will be like cute protection, like, you really want that. That thing is like, it's so cute, oh my god. Like how people are with cats, for example. Like me, I love cats. Neko, daisuki niya. Okay. Let's try. So let's try to actually keep the accent for this. Moe stuff makes me depressed in all honesty, because I find characters like Gawr Gura or other VTubers to be really astoundingly annoying at times.
often use these characteristics in the future to attack Gura. In my opinion,
Yeah, and a lot of anime fans also, almost exclusively Western anime fans, tend to like get their underwear in a twist about moe. For some reason, they always like feel the need to say like how much they don't like moe or stuff.
significant part of what accounts for Gawr Gura's global appeal is how she embodies the beloved shonen main character trope, meaning she's incredibly positive, kinda dumb, and wears a very trope.
sure.
Meaning is how she embodies the beloved shonen main character trope.
Shonen main character trope. You know, I never really thought of it that way, but I guess yeah, you can say it like
Meaning
that.
she's incredibly positive, kinda dumb, and wears a very
That's good. That's good for this part, I suppose. And
laid-back attire and always speaks her
Okay.
mind without thinking much. She kind of reminds me of a female version of Luffy from One Piece. Oh,
well, yeah, I suppose that actually it's part of her moe charm, isn't it? That you had that very easygoing feeling that you know she's going to do more or less whatever she wants to do, whatever she thinks will be good to do, and like she's always going to approach it in a very positive
without
way.
the whole meat-eating shtick. Actually, never mind. Gura's exactly the same, but with seafood. See, Hololive was pretty clever when they crafted their lineup, as they basically fashioned them after an anime cast. While Gura would be the main character of the group, and I'm not saying that she's necessarily the most important.
Yeah, generally generations in between were actually, from what I understand, they came about. Of course, they're also a legacy from like idol agencies, but originally, like in the terms of Kizuna Ai and stuff, a single talent was paid attention to, promoted, and all that kind of stuff. But then they noticed that if they promoted a group, then those people, the multiple artists, they could actually bounce from each other and boost popularity with each other, rather than doing all of the stuff solo. It's actually a good advice that I heard about VTubing for independent VTubers was that it can be actually beneficial to you to enter into one of those indie VTuber groups so that you can have some people to actually not just to share audiences or anything like that, but that you can have people who you can do collaborations with, who you can bounce up jokes with, when you can come up with ideas with, and all that kind of good stuff. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Sorry. Let's
Bear
continue.
with me there, but rather that she's the character that will blanket appeal to the widest audience by pulling them in. And then viewers will eventually grow to love and have their favorite in all the other members, as they each cover a different persona, with each of them catering to a different niche.
Yeah, and what I forgot to say is what essentially what Miss Rima said there, that also they generally set the different elements, the different characters of the generation to fulfill a specific role.
Ami the ingenious, Ina the cozy artist, Kiara the outspoken, Kali the rockstar, etc., etc. And
Yeah, pretty much. So Ina was essentially the comfy and the very say so one. From what I understand, Kiara was actually a lot of like someone who wears her hair on her sleeve, and Mori Calliope, of course, is like an absolute powerhouse and a very talented musician. And from what I understand, they noticed Amelia's creativity
an additional factor
from the
contributing
start.
to her remarkable success is her immense talent as an entertainer and a streamer. Hololive did not flip a coin and hope for the best with Gura, as they picked someone who had already proven themselves to be a successful creator before.
And I to respect the sense of past lives, I won't mention much besides I don't really know much. But yeah, before she was Gawr Gura, the person behind Gawr Gura was already pretty famous online and already had a big
For
fan
her
base.
debut at Hololive, she had already garnered a fanbase of millions of viewers. She often sang memes and satirical songs that poke fun at the anime culture while utilizing her cute voice. She basically shitposted her way into garnering a large following. And a fun fact, she even recorded Belle's Delphine's return song back then. So it's safe to say that Gawr Gura had shitposted her way into garnering a large
Okay.
following. And a fun fact, she even recorded
What
Belle's
the
Delphine's return song back then. So it's safe to
How did that come about? Of course, I imagine that a lot of creators, a lot of online creators, um, also end up developing like some abilities with video editing, music editing, production, sound audio editing and stuff.
say that Gawr
that's
Gura
still-
had always had a deep
Okay.
understanding of internet culture and has expertly kept her finger on the ever-beating pulse of the internet. Another
Yeah.
pivotal cornerstone of Gura's triumph is her simple yet powerful design. Her character design is cute and appealing while being
Sorry.
easily recognizable, which helped her build a strong brand identity.
Bug.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I never really noticed how much. This is me trying to do the accent again. I never really noticed how emblematic indeed a lot of Gura's design is, especially like this shark teeth. Is like you see them and you instantly think of Gura. I think also the petite frame, and the silver ocean hair, ocean hair. That really helps a lot too.
There it is. Tell us about it.
So hey,
Bug.
Not only that, but it's also
Surprising
an
that-
accessible design. Enough so that someone without many resources would be capable of reproducing it at home. And the same concept could apply to fan arts and drawings of her. A company's marketing budget, while being a powerful tool, can only go so far.
Holy, do you see the size of the feet? Why are the
Yes, I know. I know about Gura feet.
feet so big?
Pretty good.
Dang, I got big old feet. What The heck?
And in a way, his fanbase's creation have contributed to the widespread promotion and distribution of her image.
Yeah, so because it's so simple and emblematic, that also helped for a lot of fan art and merch.
And so
That's-
that's basically how Gawr Gura became the poster child of VTubing.
You guys are
That's
so
a very good
fast.
point,
I
yeah.
need a speed limit sign. Dear chat, you're breaking the speed limit. My speedometer is breaking. It's going off the charts.
You could say that she's running into 90s.
Gura's
Oh,
success
God.
didn't come without its
I'm sorry.
price. Since her very first stream and due to the wide success she enjoyed as a VTuber,
You will now address me as chef. Thank you. I already see somebody addressing me as chef. So when I
Yes, chef.
ask you a question in this stream, you are going to respond with yes, chef. Can I
Yes,
get a
chef.
yes, chef?
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
many
chef.
people have come out
Oh God. It's like, yes. I mean, most people actually will already notice, I imagine, but because a lot of people will start like getting into VTubing, are very young. I would just say this as free, friendly advice: never say anything like this in online. Not only it is something that is going to stay, it's something that people are going to take up and they're going to give you a lot of justified grief for it in the future, but you are not going to gain anything by being edgy in this sense. Like, it is very much not in your best interest to not only attack a beloved and popular fellow creator, but um, doing writing something so socially unacceptable broadcast. I imagine the potential audience that you're not good. You're probably at the risk of doing something really unwise on stream, and of course also to other people who might have collaborated with you that like they might say this and they might think, no, probably better not. So practically nothing to gain in exchange for potentially everything to lose. So, like, no. And of course, I imagine that this is actually just a random person who doesn't care about like having a good reputation or anything. But from what I heard, there actually are a few VTubers who, VTubers, PNG tubers, etc., that actually do say stuff like this. I imagine in part because they are very young and they don't yet grasp like how unremovable some of these really bad actions can be. So yeah, just a friendly warning.
after her for various reasons. However,
Oh, and of course, like, no one is actually going to care about that. Like, no one cares that you say some edgy stuff that you're not actually going to even think of outside of Twitter. So
her most prominent critiques, often referred to as antis, have primarily targeted her for what they depict as her lowly appearance.
sorry, like, advice 117: don't loot VTubers. There's real people behind those models, and in some cases, like with faces symbol Gawr Gura, they had a gel-like body that encourages beep. And as stated, some of them spread hateful ideas indirectly like this. Oh yeah, the Wood and Gawr Gura's faces. I don't remember how that thing came about, but it was some pretty wacky stuff.
And one of the
I will say a few comments, I suppose. What I think of that topic, because of course, as you guys can see, I use what I guess could be described as a I don't know how to feel about it, but I guess it could be described as a short avatar. But it's cute, like, it's really cute, isn't he? Like, that is super cute. And like, I don't really imagine that anyone will like see this avatar and like think something inappropriate or anything. I just think that he's very innocent looking and he's cute. It wouldn't, like, if someone saw this avatar like in that kind of way, it's not like something that will actually bother me or that I think is like bad or anything. It's not my cup of tea, but You do you, I guess.
Most influential aunties of her early days was this content creator called Brittany Venti, who's made a video which is basically a hit piece on
And essentially here she says that predators and okay, stuff addicts are very constipated that I made this video. Make sure you like it and share to piss off the boomers and aliens or something, I don't know. They are
on
leaving
Gawr
massive
Gura,
dislike, okay.
chastising her for acting young and for having a prepubescent appearance. Her words, not mine.
There is something called Hololive now.
Having a prepubescent appearance. Her words, not mine.
There is
Oh,
something
it's her words than mine,
called
okay.
Hololive now that they do in English. They have little lollies, prepubescent girls on YouTube. And my first impression of it was, oh, is this like a child show? Is this a kids show? Like kids can see it.
Which is actually not really well. I don't think anyone would actually have felt that this was a particularly unreasonable opinion for someone who isn't familiar with anime culture.
Kind of like Dora the Explorer and like interact with it. Then I come
Sorry.
to find out, no, actually the
Well, I'm pretty sure actually that a lot of kids do watch indeed Gawr Gura.
chat is full of 40-year-old men getting off to the depiction of a 9-year-old.
This is the same creator
Well, admittedly, some of the really dumb bad comments don't particularly help that point, I suppose. But that goes then into a whole discussion of like whether those kind of drawings are immoral or not, which I don't particularly want to touch.
who has been embroiled in another controversy with another VTuber, Iron Mouse, when she claimed she was faking her illness. This
Sorry about that, I was drinking a lot of water. That part is actually a bit funny because, I mean, I didn't really see the video of Brittany Bethany attacking Iron Mouse, and I'm not really interested in seeing it, to be honest. But it, I'm really sorry. It, you know how I said earlier that it is not in your best interest to attack a fellow content creator. In the case of Brittany, it's actually a bit different because of two reasons. One, she doesn't care because she is in a very different group of content creators, YouTubers, whatever you want to call it, and in that group, actually, goodwill from the community on an abstract sense is not as necessary to thrive, I suppose. So, as a VTuber, because a lot of the kind of vibes of around the community of VTubing are meant for everyone to be nice to want everyone to be nice to each other, then it's going to stick up like a sore thumb if you like try to claim that Iron Mouse fakes her illness or something crazy like that. But because I imagine VTubers like Brittany Venti are they intend to be controversial and they tend to be because they dislike it and add like people dislike her content because they're bad people or anything like that, then for her there is not a no such penalty actually happens. Given that she doesn't care about like having goodwill from others or like not accusing a person of faking the illness, then yeah,
video in
for her it's beneficial, but because the culture or the groups that she wants to associate with are very different from VTubing. In YouTube in general, or with certain drama tubers, then it's more or less encouraged to be toxic. But in YouTube, no. In VTubing, that is not appreciated.
particular was widely criticized by her audience, as Brittany did a lot of
Actually,
in
what does the last
particular
comment
was
say?
widely
She's mad that there's actually professional entertainers taking attention away from her.
criticized by her audience.
Well, I don't know if I will say that. I will go that far. She is most certainly trying to encourage a different kind of audience than that which will gravitate towards Gawr Gura.
As Brittany did a lot of generalization
Oh, cut those hashtags. Okay, yeah, she was gunning for violence from the start. Okay.
and had a lot of her facts wrong.
This voice actress of this virtual reality lolly makes me cringe every single time they feel the need to make that noise, gross, disgusting noise that's probably done to pander to men and turn them
Okay.
on.
Okay. Jesus.
I
Oh God, I get terrible. This is so dumb. I mean, how does she do it actually? Because I noticed that there is a sort of panting, but she also adds some sonority to her vocal folds. I can do it.
I just can't. It makes me cringe.
For example, she
Well, if you ever hear my example, I think that will make you cringe times 5.
called every single one of Gora's viewers.
Makes me cringe.
For example, she called every
Okay.
single one of Gora's viewers the P word.
Oh, wow. She called them the P word. You mean that P word?
If being anti-sexualization of minors makes me a SJW, then call me Anita Policeman, because these lolicons should not be on the internet openly promoting pedophilia through some loophole of where they'll say, oh, actually this depiction of a 7-year-old child, they're actually like 1,000 years old, so it's fine. No, you are still masturbating to children. Get it through your heads, because you're a fucking monster.
As it is
And well, that will actually open. It will go to a very long legal tangent of like of why it is not in our best interest as a society to allow the government to take the power to legislate creative expressions. Because I can assure you, being a novice historian, it will not stop at just stuff that is hated by a good portion of society. It absolutely will not stop. So there are a lot of things for which social shame is enough of a deterrent. And of course, then we also have to get into the idea of like, is that kind of drawing actually damaging to society? Is it actually going to cause any real harm? And then we will go into a rather charge it back and forth whether it does or does not. But generally speaking, there is a reason for why, despite what was mentioned in a part in the contents of the Brittany Venti video, for a long time, such drawings were not really all that illegal or banned in most, or if not all, of the Western countries in the world. Even in the US now, it's unconstitutional to criminalize such types of drawings.
It's virtually impossible for all millions of Gura's fans to be attracted to children. People were quick to comment on the video and point out that most people who watch
Yeah.
Gura were not.
So basically, with her logic, she thinks if a L word doesn't include or add cute, you are a predator. So basically, if a baby does something cute, guess what, guys? You are okay. Well, I don't know what to say about that. One distinction in the interest of fairness that I guess can be made is that it could be argued that the illustration of Gawr Gura is done with a specific intention to present itself in a specific way. So I guess she got and say, oh, okay, but it is meant to achieve this. Again, there are a lot of good reasons why it is very much not in our best interest as a society to give the state the power to legislate creative expression. So generally, I am of the opinion of like, okay, if it is something that's really weird and harmful, then we should have a public discussion about it and like not try to use the weaponry of the state to uh, stomp down our enemies.
Not sexually attracted to her. Needless to say, this video got mass dislike bombed to oblivion, with people mostly memeing Venti on the internet. In that same video and during subsequent
Wait, actually, my 12-year-old sister that watches Gura. Guess she's a 40-year-old. This stuff, man, now.
memeing Venti on the internet. In that same video and during subsequent streams, she also heavily criticized Gura's talent and the viewers' strong interest in watching her, which only added fuel to the fire.
Predators are in fact mad. And the reason that they're mad is because I criticize them. I criticize their talent.
One thing that actually is kind of like was very strange to me when I saw this video is that why is she using the Christian medallion? Okay, and is oh man, should I even say this? Is she a win or something? Because obviously it is like something to draw attention to get some publicity or something from it. For people who wouldn't know, let's call it the fandom of Christian Michael Chandler. Win is essentially what people call those doofus, those silly people, let's call them, that like and try to get Christian into a prank call, would like order pizza into his house, or would like try to record him onto his cell phone or something, and kind of stuff to like get some I don't know, some publicity, some fame or whatever out of like doing something dumb to or about Christian. It comes from the idea of like mocking someone, saying, "Oh, I scored an epic win." So that's where win came from. It is not a good thing. It is not a good term, like, because it makes historians think like, oh my god, why does this fool want to bother Chris?
I don't even
It's never actually for a good reason.
like calling it that, because like, yeah, is Gawr Gura really that much more talented than your average streamer that has the same type of views? No, not really. Like, yeah, the singing can be cute, whatever, you can nitpick a couple things here and
Well, the singing is very cute. Very tatemon kawaii. Actually, that Shinkiro, that song she sang with Marin, is actually a very difficult song. Well, not very difficult, I don't know, but like I tried singing it once and I was actually surprised at the subtle complexities it
they're
has.
like any streamer that's big typically usually have their one or two quirks that grab viewers, and that's how they're so big. So I don't really think that Gawr Gura is especially
I would like to think that this is one of my quirks. Oh man, excellent. Hey, no, hey, oh dear, when I actually wink, it doesn't keep the red eyeliner. Oh, what's up with that? Okay. Well, let's go back to normal.
talented in particular. I feel like calling it talent is just like But anyway, that's what they call it. That's what the company calls their voice actresses. They call them
Talentos.
talents.
Brittany eventually released a second
There's actually, well, I guess a few people say that like, oh well, there's not a big difference in talent or whatever from a really big streamer versus like I don't know, a streamer that doesn't have as many concurrent viewers or whatever. That is not the case. That is just very much not the case. It might not be immediately apparent what the differences are, but I assure you, as someone who watches a lot of analyzed parts of many VTuber streams and general streamer streams, There are a lot of very subtle things that the real pros do, which substance extend apart.
Video in which she claimed to have conducted more research and corrected some facts, but allegedly only doubled down on them. Unfortunately, this video has been taken down, so I was
Oh
not
yeah, the video was so bad that it actually was taken down by YouTube because of their anti-slander rules or something like that.
able to confirm this claim.
Look at this. She's pretending to not know how to spell stomach. Unbelievable. She can't even spell stomach right. She's pretending to be dumb. She's pretending to be a baby. She can't even. She's pretending to. She's. Imagine.
I suppose there aren't that
Imagine.
many dislikes yet because they haven't heard yet. They haven't started rating me yet like they did last time. So suspected predators aren't here yet to dislike bomb me, I guess. You would think a company.
And man, I don't know if this is actually going to be a bit controversial to say, but I will also say that generally as a society or as a community online, we should have a much greater interest in not trivializing words such as the one that she just said. To not use them just as a kind of a gotcha term in petty political fights. Like
With-
it's really not something that should be trivialized.
Such a big agency, Hololive, would think twice before they go and abuse their power, but apparently not.
Unfortunately for Brittany Venti, this
Mhm.
particular
Okay, cute shark sings too. Ah. And of course, this is clearly bad word, bad word, bad word, bad word, bad word. The dislikes are the word of bad word suppressing me. You are projecting how bad word you are. That must be right. Yeah, that's actually the wackiest part. That like everyone that disagrees has to be like an X. It's actually something that I see a lot of in comment sections, for example. Academics, please respond. They won't respond, so I can defeat the bad words. I am Hammerhead.
controversy
All right.
only helped Gura gain momentum and propelled her in her early days at Hololive. As Gura rose up the charts simultaneously, she would become the face of the pro-loli camp and the face of the anti-loli camp. Being cited as an example, rose up
Oh.
the charts simultaneously, she would become the face of the pro-loli camp and the face of the anti-loli
right.
camp. Being
Yeah, inside of VTubing, actually, there's actually quite a bit of a fight between those two sides. I am pretty sure that the fight is exclusively English-speaking side, though there's probably not much of a discussion about this on the Japanese side.
cited as an example.
Oh, of course, and also, actually, I don't think that red pill stuff will be very common in Japan either. Yeah, this is what your average Gawr Gura shrimp looks like. If you want to see where all the bad words are hiding, read through any of Gawr Gura comments on YouTube. They are all over there, lol. Get on it. But yeah, these cheated and crusted bad words are the majority of her fanbase. Yeah, this is a person, and he has a bunch of Gura merch. And some D&D dice, I think. You know, I never actually
Example,
played
whenever
D&D,
that
like
debate would come
tabletop
up,
D&D.
whether it is centered around her.
So, disclaimer, there is indeed a difference between a drawing of a couch and a, wow, drawing of this word child. For all the just a drawing, losers, blah blah, there's men are one solar flare, what? Are one so, oh, saying that if they didn't have the relief or whatever, they will do this to every child in the nearby vicinity. Yeah, see, this is the kind of thought that any fellow academics will take in one glimpse at and say like, no, thank you. No, there's nothing productive to be obtained from a pointless satanization of people who disagree with you.
Or not. Every few weeks, that debate would come up, whether it is centered around her or not. Every few weeks, we can find a new
Person been worshiping for months and before March, probably last year. He must be can hear nor see and can read because there's no effing way you don't know. God, it feels so weird to say the word. A lolly VTuber is a lolicon. Yeah, Gura is quite a bit of a lolicon herself. And but from what I understand, she isn't a lolicon in the sense of like of yabai stuff. She just thinks that is cute. She just finds it cute. So she likes lolly characters in the sense that they can be very cute, or like when they wear cute clothes or kind of like that. I don't think that she likes them in the yabai sense.
Outrage post on Gura, either made by a VTuber fan or an onlooker, where Brittany's claims are generally
Mm. I bet you love you. Don't let them find you, blah, blah, blah. And again, this is actually a further weaponizing of like of people's hobbies or tastes. Even though admittedly to a majority of society they will actually seem extremely weird. Actually, I wonder if there will be any legal, probably not, there won't be any legal consequences for getting someone fired because you actually try to show something bad to their job.
echoed. Claims saying that Gawr Gura's fans are probably losers or deviants, or more recently, we've had this one user come out and
Mhm. Turns out Gura is problematic. In some of her streams, she talks about lollies and consider it a lolicon to some people. Looking through the proof, I can't believe it, but it might be the truth. For now, I'm taking a break from making drawings of her and watching her streams.
claimed
Well, normally I would think a bit of like, why do you think your opinion is so important as to share that? But technically, this person is apparently replying to someone, or like just saying it on a random Twitter thread. So it's not like he wanted to broadcast. They wanted to broadcast it to the world or anything.
that Gura is problematic. What's crucial to understand in this segment is that Japan embraces the concept of kawaii or cuteness in its culture, extending even to the behavior of idols and news anchors, while Western's perspective on cuteness differ significantly. Westerners often associate cuteness with childhood, whereas the Japanese do not. This is a broad
They even can see it as a adult woman. They can see it as a very attractive, very, a very, wait, um, attractive stuff. Hmm. But there's also another factor in that how to say this. Mm, I don't know how to actually put it into words, but it's not just that they are more accustomed to kawaii stuff. It's also that there are a bunch of aspects in Japanese society that are culturally very different versus Western world.
generalization, but you get my drift. Personally, I don't think everybody that watches lolly loots them. In fact, Gura rarely uses her body as sex appeal. I'll say that
Yeah, I mean,
Gura
obviously I don't watch Gura at all, but I do think that actually a lot of people will use like either a loli or a shota avatar. It's just cute. It's just really cute. Like Gura, for example, she looks absolutely cute, like really adorable. And like this model. I mean, as soon as I saw this model, uh, I adored it. I thought, okay, I really want this model on. And when I saw it on boot, um, I will admit, I had some doubts because this model initially was actually a lot younger than I was looking for. I was looking for a model that would look more like 19, 20 years old or something. Because initially I didn't really want to have a character that looked so young, partly because of the whole debate about small characters. But he's just really cute. He's just really fun, and it's not like I actually do anything really weird on a stream or anything. And so it's important also to keep in mind that people might actually want to engage with these kind of models for reasons that are not necessarily reprehensible. As for the matter, the discussion of whether wanting to see these characters in more compromising situations, whether or not that is bad, um, I don't really know, man. I try to keep myself away from those kind of discussions.
Does lewd jokes and risque innuendos,
Mhm.
not gonna hide it. But after all, you don't become the #1 VTuber by not partaking in a little bit of internet degeneracy. And after
Well,
all,
I guess that's true.
according to Gura herself, she is often confused as a child, even when she travels.
Girl, are you sure you're not a child? I remember one time I was in.
Oh yeah, that actually wasn't mentioned too. Um, mm, I don't really. I am not that. I am not that short, but I am also kinda short. I guess it kinda shows through in my voice too. So I don't know if that actually played a factor into me liking the character so much, the model, the Dachi model so much. And Gura herself is actually physically very, very, very small. That's actually part of why she enjoys this kind of petite models, because they are actually a bit of a close reflection to how she herself looks.
In the airport. I was late for a flight, so I was running, sprinting. So I get to the security and they stop me and they say, "Hi, honey. Hi." And I
Hi, honey. Oh my god, my voice is starting to go. Hi, honey.
I was like, "Oh god, the second you said that, I already know where this conversation's going."
So it's not too
Oh,
much of a
God.
stretch to want a model that
And if I remember the story, she actually tried to add more like an adult, and that only convinced them further to like, okay, no, this is a kid like trying to get into the plane or something. Like, yeah. Curiously, supposedly she didn't initially think of taking out her identity card. I guess you kind of panic in those situations.
resembles your own body type. Anyway, if you all are
Oh, actually, she
interested
does
to
mention.
want a model,
That I already know where this conversation's going.
so it's not too much of a stretch to want a model that resembles your own body type. Anyway, if
Yeah.
you all are interested in this topic, please let me know in the comments below and I'll consider covering both sides of this debate in a future video. However, for now, I won't show more of these claims as they're essentially all the same, but just notes that these attacks are pretty frequent on Gura, as some
Yeah.
users
Okay. Well. Oh, right. So, oh, that was actually, yeah. It's not that she herself said or did anything bad, but rather that a lot of people from 4chan like used her image a lot or something like that.
even went as far as to claim that she is a fascist or even a symbol of hate.
Hello!
Claim that she is a fascist or even
What does she say? Hateful bigots permanently claim a symbol icon and use it for hate. Bad people use it for this symbol, and those are permanently changed. Well, I don't know. I'm not touching that discussion. The same thing happened with Pepe the Frog. The same thing is happening to Gura. Either she needs to denounce them or be a symbol of hate. That's something about the defeatist attitude. You run out of symbols and iconology that are meaningful after a while. If a group misusing them, what's the full struggle role?
a symbol of hate.
I don't know.
Hello!
Hi!
Hello!
Hi!
Yeah, I don't
Hi,
see
Jeff.
it. VTubing can often be mentally taxing as creators
Yeah.
have to worry about judgment and criticism from being in the constant spotlight. And also VTuber audiences can be quite difficult to deal with at times. Also VTuber
Well, I don't know that because I never had an audience. But, and I don't know. I suppose often I see a lot of chats being pretty nice actually. But I imagine that sometimes when they go like, oh, wow, kawaii, oh, yes, step on me, mommy, or something like that, they can. Please step on me, Tascaro. Um, feed, blah blah blah. I guess it can be a bit intimidating. I don't know. And yeah, there is always the occasional the random comment that says the random weird guy that says something mean or something.
YouTuber audiences can be quite difficult to deal with at times. Add to that
But overall, in my opinion, the chats that I had seen tend to be a lot less toxic than chats from other kind of streamers.
the fact that modern content creations basically implies that you will have to become a content mill since we are consuming content at a faster pace than ever, and compounded with having to play a moe role which is more taxing energy-wise, and suddenly it doesn't become such a stretch to assume that it can lead to health or mental health issues.
At the beginning of November, I briefly touched on me
Oh, yeah.
with the members
Gura takes a lot of
very
breaks.
briefly. I touched on having some doctor health stuff happening, and I didn't go very much into detail because that's just private life that I don't think I'll ever will go into. And this month of November has been pretty difficult with that. It just kind of got worse.
Gawr Gura has struggled with health issues for
Yeah.
a couple of years now, which has made her streaming more sporadic. One morning of December in 2022, she tweeted that she was going
Da-da-da. Oh, I didn't know that it was actually her health stuff that played a factor into her doing like one stream every 2 months or something like that.
to the doctor. And a few days later, Hololive announced her indefinite hiatus, citing health issues. Since then, Gura has streamed whenever she could, but that hasn't stopped entitled fans to speculate or demand more content and information.
Right. Yeah, I guess we can read this. Why are people still fighting about Gura? The topic of Gura and lack of communication does nothing but cause fights every time it's discussed. Mods don't do anything until the threads turn absolutely garbage, yet the same situation repeats itself every so often. These threats won't make her stream. Gawr will remain silent, those participating are only making themselves and others mad for no purpose. This isn't healthy for anyone, and at this rate, she'll end on a banned topic. Asking will not give you answers. You know this. No one here knows anything. Responses are mostly bad wannabes theorizing with months of info if they're even using that. Calling people entitled and parasocial will not stop, convince, or cure them. It's just prolonging the fighting and bringing more people into the mess. Want Gura to feel better? Send some love on Twitter, only place you might actually see it. Write something nice, make some fan art. Can't be happy in the fandom without her streams? Maybe it's time to get back into video games, anime, or whatever makes you happy. It helped me, and I definitely don't think online arguments are it. Life is tough, so why not spend your time at least trying to be happy? Based off of recent trends, tomorrow will also be bad, so do yourself a favor and don't participate in that. Don't even give it a read. Tomorrow and after that too. Everyone deserves better than being stuck in the same pointless fights and time loops. Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand in some levels. Obviously, not the idea of like acting entitled or being upset or anything. But I understand feeling a bit sad. Because I I had a situation once where my Ashi, she didn't stream for a long time, and like it was a bit painful. I'll tell you that. It was a difficult time. We were also happy when she returned.
From their favorite shark girl. More recently, about 5 months ago, Gura returned to streaming after a large break. She had to disable pre-chat due to rising complaints and
Oh, right, yeah.
negativity.
Because so many
leads to
people
more
were actually bugging
negativity,
her about
as
streaming.
humans are very tribal, so I think she did the right
But yeah, I mean, imagine a lot of the chats that felt it like it was their time with Gura. Like the streams were their time with Gura.
thing there. This behavior has occurred repeatedly and it's likely to continue in the future. You can easily observe an array of negative comments in the comment section of her latest stream. Now,
Sorry,
I've
I'm not
talked
going to
about
read them.
parasocial relationships
I don't think it's a bad post or anything, but I'm just a bit tired at this point.
in depth in my video on parasocial relationships, but I'll go over it super briefly for those who haven't watched it yet. Parasocial relationships are a one-sided connection with a media persona, such as a celebrity or a social media influencer.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to introduce a new concept that we haven't talked about yet on this channel that I think might give us a better understanding of this behavior. In China, there is a term for a new growing phenomenon called Parakin fans. Parakin fans diverge from regular fans by stepping up
I
from
haven't-
merely worshipping their idols to being able to cultivate them.
What?
Parakin fans.
I never
Parakin
heard of this
fans
before.
diverge from regular fans by stepping up from merely worshipping their idols to being able to cultivate them, including their public image. In a sense, it's like idol co-creation, them, including
Oh, so they feel more like, oh, I had a hand in making you. Oh, I had a hand in making you famous because I was supporting you and doing art for you and other kind of stuff. Fan art and that other
their
stuff.
public
Well, I
image.
don't know.
In a sense, it's like idol co-creation. And I think this term could loosely be applied to Gura's fan base.
Oh god. I do hope this one was that she made more than 3 streams in 1 year.
Or at least help shed some light on their feeling of entitlement. In dumbed down terms, those fans feel like they've had a part to play in Gura's success.
Because he actually made the effort to prepare it. Let's actually read it. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do the Morica Live video in this stream. Like, this one ended up being way more than I got to. So, thank you for the amazing celebration and merchandise during the stream. I had prepared a really special note in your honor. Dear Gura, censored. I just want to say thank you for sticking around with us this past amazing 3 years. We achieved a lot of amazing stuff and accomplished a lot of dreams we never thought was possible. Those amazing times will always be in our hearts. To be honest, you were my reason that I am here now. It's funny how I still remember the day I first met you. And looking back at it, we achieved so many amazing things, and I'm glad I was part of this amazing journey. I shall continue to support you as a real chambat. But let me tell you one small thing as well. No matter what happens next, I will always love you. Here's to many more amazing adventures we will have in the future. I wish a happy 3rd anniversary to our beloved shark, Gawr Gura. Oh, very cute. That's so cute actually. That's so sweet.
By either
That's really
one,
sweet.
supporting her financially via donations, merch buying, or membership subscriptions, or 2, by promoting her stream and content. And this can be done in various ways, from a simple retweet to showcase stream and
Oh, I noticed
content.
that she
And this
has
can
a
be done in
thing
various
here with the
descriptions, or 2, by
Miss
promoting
Rima
her
here with
stream
the
and
right
content.
highlight.
And this can be done in various ways.
I hope it's not inelegant to say, but not gonna lie, I'm actually a bit relieved to know I'm not the only one who occasionally deals with the model doing
From
things
a
I don't want it to
simple
do.
retweet to showcasing her Oshi mark on Twitter, to contributing to her popularity by providing dubbing for her streams for overseas fans. These fans feel the need to guide their idol into the right path.
Sorry,
and
I'm not gonna
won't
read
be
that.
afraid to voice their disappointment when they feel like they're veering offset path. In these comments, not only most of those
Gura, please come back. I just had to do it, sorry. I'm sorry, mate. I didn't mean anything bad by it. I just thought the boy was funny.
fans are demanding Gura to
Hey, you haven't streamed in a long time. Perhaps you should like stream someday?
stream,
Okay.
but some of them are also calling out for harassment of those who are still loyal.
Oh wow,
but
that's
some of
actually not very nice.
them are also
Wow.
calling out for harassment of
That's
those
mean.
who are still loyal to her by keeping their memberships on. They tend to have an us against the world mentality, calling out
I guess so.
everyone who disagrees with them as a tourist, a clip watcher, basically a casual viewer, or they will agree
Yeah.
with them as a tourist.
And she will use a heads up, she gets to visit the stream or take a break. All those people are just tourists who came from either that one VTuber drama channel that talk about it, or that one artist on Twitter would tweet about it. Zoomers just always feel like they need to be a part of some morally righteous struggle. Got on the hacking parasocials, epic style.
A clip watcher, basically a casual viewer, or they will bunch up all of the people that are calling them out for their parasocial behavior as an onlooker that wants to morally grandstand. There's also a lot of complaints that Gura only exists to push merch now, and that she only shows up for her engagement, such as new merch drops or new outfits debuts. On this note,
I think that she also does a bunch of collabs with other Hololive members too, from her generation or outside of Mint.
I feel like if she's having either health or mental health issues, it makes sense that she can't stream, but that she still feels the need to show up for her obligations that have been planned for months in advance.
That, and I think, at least from what I read occasionally, given that Hololive is essentially a sort of, I don't know how it was described to me, but kind of like an not just an entertainment company, but also an advertising and a sort of an idol company. So their main focus with many of their livers is that they can actually participate in the general events, or they can actually be good idols. So they can be good singers, they can be good dancers, and that they can help to promote this or that stuff. And of course, their main vehicle usually to do that is streaming, but often you can see that Tanigo-san, by consequence, a lot of the structure in Hololive cares a lot about the people that work for them. I think that they are practically one of the extremely few, maybe the only VTuber agency that's well known that retains their workers as employees rather than as contractors. Nowadays that's actually a big deal. Well, so they are probably very willing to try to accommodate everyone's particular situations.
Really curious to see how much money these fans have actually splurged for talking this big. Not that
Yeah, they probably didn't spend that much.
the amount actually matters, frankly. Like I mentioned before, spending money on a creator does not make you own them or remotely entitled to them. Imagine, own your personal streamer for as little as $5.99 a month. The
Oh, 99?
deal of the century. Use my link in the description below to get 30% off owning your personal piece of Gawr Gura.
Yes, you guys can own me for $10.99 a month.
Okay, in all seriousness,
I know how to cook, and I am sometimes funny. So it's quite a deal if I do say so myself.
guys, Gura isn't a Netflix subscription. If you donate to a streamer, you do it to support them. They don't owe you anything in return. Yes, the communication would be nice, but if she's not comfortable to do so, then she's not comfortable to do it. And we shouldn't try or transgress boundaries to try to get additional information. It just isn't worth it. And that brings me to my final point. Gura's almost transcended being the simple shark girl that we all love into becoming much more than she probably ever anticipated. From being objectified, although not always willingly and not always with bad intentions,
Yeah, a lot of people seem to go like the really, well, I guess we can say we can call it parasocial, but parasocial in a more innocent sense of like just feeling happy when being around her and that kind of stuff.
by her fan base, to some extent even by Cover Corp themselves, she is also now used as ammo for even
Actually, What are the outfits here? Wow, the Amelia outfit is actually really cute. My, that's actually really, really sweet. So Amelia, Gawr Gura, Ina, Kiara, Calliope, and I just don't recognize the others. Isn't this Fauna? I think this might be Mumi. I'm not sure. I think this is Bang. Well, but yeah, apparently, I don't know if this is a museum or something like that.
Cover Corp themselves, she is also now used as ammo for various camps, each utilizing her likeness for their own agendas, as she is now
Yeah.
being used to push various ideologies from different parties.
Yeah, I mean, she's so prominent at this point, by this point, that like everyone knows her. I mean, she, all of Meat are the kind of VTubers that if you know a bit of VTubing, um, like no doubt for sure you know at least the names like Gawr Gura, Millie Watson, Ina, etc., etc. Like, so because it's the kind of public figure that everyone knows at this point, she is also going to attract like the attention from other actors outside the community, I suppose.
Having explicit imagery of children in animation form when they look, sound, and act exactly like a child, and explained that it's basically training your brain to sexualize children, which is very predatory.
Ideologies that she has
Well, I mean that goes into into a very prolonged political discussion.
nothing
So.
to do with. Indeed, Gura is not seen as a human behind an avatar anymore, but rather has become
I
an
guess so.
ideal, or rather an idea. An idea that means different things for different groups of people. And it's weird
Jam.
how she doesn't have any control anymore over how she's portrayed by other people. And I guess this is what
Oh.
comes with being an
So that was actually a music video.
idol nowadays. She's been put out there, and now the public is kind of just riding away.
This video was actually pretty nice overall. This person was just saying that he doesn't really understand
with it.
videos.
And on a final note, I want to point out that amidst all the negativity we've shown in the last parts of the video, it's not the whole fan base that is rotten. I swear. Gura has a lot more people supporting her than hating her. And still,
Oh yeah, I mean, like, as per usual, the kind of people who like raise a stink about such a public figure, they are hardly like even 1% of the total fan base. They are just very notable because she engaged in something, because her model can be very controversial to the kind of people that want to make drama. So
voicing their positive messages,
And
and I
also-
want to highlight a few of them here. Because most of the time,
Sorry.
still voicing their positive messages, and I want to highlight a few of them here. Because most of the time with negativity, it's a vocal minority that does it. And unfortunately, they just always end
Yeah.
up screaming louder than everybody else. So it overshadows some of the good. I think it's important to combat all the negativity
actually, I don't know if I should mention this, but so I heard the story of like the someone infamous commenter, chatter, individual, etc. That was very well known for bad reasons in the community of a particular VTuber. I'm not gonna name names, but it's one of those VTubers that like you heard for sure her name. And like I don't really know what he said that was he usually said that was so crazy. For example, if he was like constantly saying that he wanted to marry the streamer, or if he just said weird stuff in general or something like that. But eventually I think he himself revealed more stuff about his life, and then it came out that he was essentially so he was given money by his parents, who were very, very rich, to essentially hang around and just be around the house or something like that. So he had nothing, he literally had nothing to do, he did not have to worry about bills or anything, and he decided to spend all his available time do weird stuff around this streamers community. So, like, sometimes those are the kind of people who regularly engage in drama online, or they say mean stuff on Twitter or in comments or whatever. And because they are that petty and occasionally they are that disregarding of the rest of their lives, then that's why they can be such a loud minority, because they had literally nothing else going on. This is not every hater, but I do assume that a lot of them are like that. Yeah. It's so hard for this model to smile. God. Hey, no. Actually, I'm gonna try to reduce the smile limit a bit more. Oh, hey, mouth. Where is mouth? Mouth open, mouth smile. Okay. Slightly less smoothing and. Okay, excellent. This is a bit more comfortable, yeah. Yeah. I was going to say we are improving, and then it has to do that. Well, improvements.
To also show a little bit of wholesomeness. And maybe with enough of that, we can manage to nullify the whole thing, somehow. That being said, I hope Gura continues to have a successful career, and I hope that these obstacles don't dissuade her from continuing VTubing and don't turn.
No, they won't at all. I mean, all of Hololive VTubers, I think practically all of them are pretty much millionaires. So
Immature experience, because I literally could not imagine the VTubing
I mean, I think I probably shouldn't make statements like those. Sorry.
landscape without her. And that's all I have for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to watch my other deep dives on
Well, yeah, that will be for next week, I think. Man, this ended up taking an hour and a half.
more Calliope or Rusia Uruha. And please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. By subscribing, you'll be notified when we post new content, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications. If you want to support our channel further and get access to exclusive perks, consider becoming a member. Members get access to custom emojis, badges, and other perks such as priority replies to comments as they show up in a special section in YouTube Studio. And best of all, get a chance to be featured at the end of my videos. You
Wow.
can join by clicking the join button
Amazing.
below this video. We release
Sorry, I got
videos
lost in
weekly,
that there for
so
a
make
moment.
sure to tune in next week for a brand
Yeah.
new VTuber deep dive. See you then!
Bye. Have a
Bye
wonderful
bye.
day.
Have a
Thank you to
wonderful
my
day indeed.
supporters, Chef Fatnin, Twisted Wash,
Okay, and this is the pageant, thank
Barbara
you.
Ricketts, and Sir
Alright.
Conte.
Yeah, that was pretty
And
much
officially dethroning
the oh, these are the bloopers. Okay.
from the top.
Oh god. And thus spoke Zarathustra. Applaud or be destroyed, okay. Okay, sorry, I was doing it with falsetto there. My head voice is really tired by this point. And well, okay, so that was pretty much the discussion. That was Gawr Gura, the cause of being the face of VTubers. I am sorry that I did not really had much of anything to say, to be honest, about the I don't know about the video in general. It's just that, like I mentioned, I don't really know a lot about Gura. And well, I do apologize that this is another stream that didn't go the way that I intended it. I mean, the video is 26 minutes, but I spent like an hour and a half, pretty much an hour, like talking about it. So, well, I had to budget that like with some videos it's going to be double the length of the video with all the side comments, all the pauses that I do, and all that kind of stuff. I want to clarify, just for this to remain clear. I try to stay away from the debate about lolly, whether it's moral, whether it's good or bad, it harms people or it doesn't, etc. I don't want to touch the discussion. I'm just gonna be honest about it. I will mention that I don't think that if someone picks a model like this one or like the model that Gawr has, that doesn't mean that they're a bad person or that they see lolly in that kind of way, etc. For me, this model is just cute and it's just innocent. And while I don't think that anyone would see the model in a different way is a bad person, because as I mentioned, there is a very strong long-term interest in not trying to demonize artistic expression. It's not really something that I am particularly comfortable with. It's not my cup of tea. And yeah, I imagine there are a lot of VTubers, a lot of authors, a lot of people who just like it because it's cute, because it's just cute. And really, like, Tachi is cute. Tachi is an absolute cutie. Yeah. And well, I mean, just to clarify, like, it's not something that makes me like uncomfortable or anything, but it's not really something that I myself am engaged with, to be entirely honest. Well, so that has been Gawr Gura. Again, I am sorry, I don't really have much of anything to say about it. For me, Gawr Gura is pretty much like one of those VTubers that are just like everyone knows what they are, even if you haven't seen a single one of her streams. And it was another interesting learning experience into what goes into becoming one of those really one of the most famous VTubers around. I don't really have much to say again, I am sorry, and I really had to get ready for other business that I must attend to, so the outro this time will be pretty short. And okay, well, another learning experience, but you know, I'm actually really happy that now we are able to smile with more stability. That just had to happen when I say we can smile with more stability, right? Okay. Yeah, you know what it is? It's the shadow. I think of this. Oh yeah. It's when I exaggerated too much. Okay, and we can squint. So, you know, things are advancing little by little. I'm going to try to get a new background actually in the near future. Very well, see you on Monday, I answer. But for now, this has been Alcanista Buonarroti. Salve, miei amici. Bye bye. Goodbye. See you.